It's time for my gap and go trades for the week of March 31st through April 5th. I will also do a gap recap of the previous week from March 25th through the 29th. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is NIO. We ended the week at $4.50, down 3.64%. This is where we ended. To the north side takes us to 2 standard deviations at 470. 480 and at 4 standard deviations and another potential take profit area and resistance 491. And the baseline takes us to roughly 447, which is very close to where we are right now. And to the south side at one level of support, 425, 414, and 403. Unfortunately, we are still going downward with NIO. Looking left, regarding the gaps, this gap opened up last week. We gapped down, so I anticipate a gap to the upside whenever we turn around. And we are not there yet. We are again going south. And that gap starts at roughly 464, closes out at 447. At 3 standard deviations. And if we get to this level, I will anticipate a sell-off as people take their profits and they run, they lock in, and they leave. This gap is something I've been tracking for quite some time, and it finally closed out last week, which I did not draw out for you. No longer a threat to our account to the downside. And we've got a couple of other things to talk about right here. So this gap out of the gate, we closed. So that is done to the upside, and that took us to close to 2 standard deviations, and you know what happens at resistance. So we started to fall down, and if we are up here and we go down, that takes us to support and a bounce off of that. The other gap I will be tracking is this one that takes us to 519. And again, I'm only looking at this period from here, Monday to Friday, just this small window in time. And obviously, I'm just extending this, but I don't know where it's going to touch. So it could just go on for more, a few more weeks. So let's just leave it there. And then this gap here, that gap, and I think, oh, nope, there's another one there. But we are not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Keep your expectations low for a turnaround. But again, trading within -2 and 2 is what I like to do. And then I push it to the outer edges sometimes, the outliers. Next one, SOFI. We ended the week at 730, down 0.82%. Ignore the horizontal lines. First, I'll give you the price targets, 742, 774, 790, 806 roughly. This gap takes us to 857. We are not in the channel, not in the zone, but getting closer. To the south side, support 709, another potential buy-in area 639 and 677. If we get down to this level, I definitely will be buying more. The pink lines are my previous buy-in lines. I may have gotten out already. I'd have to take a look on a bigger time frame, which I'm not doing in this video. So this gap closed right here to the upside previously. And this one did too at 737, 743. My gaps to the north side is my target area, and when we get that hit that level, I tend to get out, buy back in again, or if I am investing, I will just hang on because that is a target that I'm working towards. And always look at the 1 year price target, set your stop loss and stop limit if you're trying to get out and just capture the gain. And this gap from the get-go on Monday of last week, right here, closed out, touched right there. So this is done. Delete, delete. And note how we bounced up from there. So you never know which direction price is going to go after we hit a gap fill. But I always do anticipate when we fill that that level is resistance, and I expect after we go up a little bit, some consolidation and to go back down and then go back up, and that's generally what happens. If we fill down here, this would be support, and then I anticipate a bounce and then obviously a correction, because there are going to be buyers and sellers every single day. So you're never going to get a smooth line across. That's just not going to happen. It's going to whip you around. And then check the RSI, the MACD, the Bollinger Bands, VWAP, trend lines, Fibonacci retracements, whatever you like to do. I just like to play this and keep it simple for myself. RIVN is the next one. I've talked about this many times. We ended the week at $10.95, down 0.36%. The 1 year price target, $16.99, which represents a 55% return from where we are. I've seen this vehicle on the streets many times, and I don't know that I like it, but to each their own. I do have a Tesla Cybertruck reserved. I really wanted the Apple car when it was supposed to come out, and we've been waiting years and years and years, and then they pulled the rug on us. That is not happening anymore. All right, 1095 is where we ended. To the north side, 1144 at resistance. Looking left, look what happened. Boom, sell off. 1173 and 1202. 1025, 995, 967. Note the bounce at support here. When we're down here and we go up, that is resistance. Boom, sell off. Let's talk about the gap recap for this period. So I talked about this gap that closes out at 1117, and it touched right there on the 28th. No longer in play. Delete, delete. All right. And we've got this one, not in the channel, not in the zone. Note we are still going down on the, oh, that's the 15. Oh my goodness, I've been giving you price targets on the 15, all right? So keep that in mind. I was looking at this for myself and I forgot to flip it over. So now, note, as I've said before in different videos, if you've watched any of my videos, whatever time frame that you play on gives you different buy and sell signals. And I'm giving this to you technically on the 5 minute, but if you want to see a bigger picture, then obviously go to the bigger time frames. So let's go back and start over on RIVN. Right here, we are at support on the 5 minute. I will anticipate a bounce. Resistance takes us back to the middle of the trend, the median and the middle of the road, 1124, 1151, and this one takes us to the beginning of the gap, just a baby one, but nonetheless, 1158 closes out at roughly 1167, which is right here, 66, 67-ish at 3 standard deviations, and 1179 to the south side. -3, 1083, 1069. And we've got this gap, not in the zone, not in the channel, closes out at 1533. And what does that line up to? Look at that, close to the 1 year price target. I don't even have to give you the price prediction, price target, and I'm not an analyst, and I could tell you where they get their pricing. Sometimes, I should say. Now, let me go back to NIO really quickly for the 5 minute, okay? So I'm just going to give you -2 and 2 standard deviations. 464, this is for Monday, and 432. SOFI. I'm in NIO and SOFI. So we're at the middle of the trend, but still going down. 747. 715 RSI is turning down, so this could go down more and then reverse back up on Monday. So that's RIVN here, and we're starting to climb up already, note that. So I will anticipate, if you're playing ultra conservatively, you would just buy along this line here, somewhere close. If you think overall we're in an upward trend, and you can see that right here, and just play and get off the gravy train up to here, 1123. But again, I like to play at least from -2 to 2. The next one, TSLY. I've got to get moving here. So we are at support, one level of support to the north side. 1630. 1648, 1657, and 1666 to the south side. We are at support, another level of support, which is 1603 and 1594. Yes, it's scary to keep buying on the way down, and people talk about the falling knife. Well, if you never get in, you're never going to know. You could have a reversal. I don't believe everything I hear, especially when it comes to my HOA, one of my HOAs at Desert Creek. Okay, to the south side for your gaps. Where is I? Oh, I forgot to mark the line here. Oh, there it is. So this is the window for next week. I guess I bought some here. So I am at, right now, up roughly 3%. But I am playing to this line. So then I will get out. But yes, it can go higher, but I'm going to get out probably to buy low again for the next ride up. So that's how I'm going to play it. You trade your own book and determine your own risk and reward, factors for yourself. But let me do this again. I got sidetracked here. So to the north side, roughly 1648. Okay, so this gap that I have been tracking since the 12th closed out last, wait a minute here. This is not, today is, oh wait, oh, I'm missing a line. I was thinking that seems like such a long week. Well, duh. It's because I am missing right here. See, I intuitively know there's something wrong with my chart. So there we go. This is the price targets I was giving you for the upcoming week, and now I'm talking about the gaps to the downside, okay? So this gap is still in play, still a threat to our accounts, but fortunately we are going in an upward channel. But this opened up last week because we gapped up. Now this one touched right, let's just conservatively say right there. So we touched here and here, no longer something to look forward to. Closed out at roughly 1618. And now we have this gap to look forward to. Closes out at 1720, and then this one, all these gaps opened up because, as you know, if you've been in Tesla a long time with me, this thing has tanked, but now we're slowly correcting. And then we've got this scary one to the south side, not in the zone, not in the channel. That will take us down to 1494. And this gap You know, we're on our way up, but it could touch in this level, but I don't think this will close. Definitely, it will definitely, I don't think, close on Monday to take us down to 1589. But you never know. But if we do, it's going to be a bounce. That is support, or one level of support. The next one, Mara. This is the only ticker that hit the gap that I talked about, but I picked it because I knew that gap was going to close. It was such an easy one. So first, the price targets. We are at 22.58. This one has whipped us around, up 2.31%. Back to the middle of the trend for Monday takes us to 22.98. Resistance, 24.54, 25.35, 26.15. To the south side, 21.39. Another buy-in area, potential. Potential, 1984. Looking left, note the crackdown, the sell-off at resistance, the buy-in support, buy-in at support. As far as this gap, this opened up on the 21st, 22nd, and on Monday, right out of the gate, it closed, and that was the gap that I gave you for my gap and go trades on Sunday, and on Monday, boom, it closed. See, it hit here, and then went up, and then fell right back down to the support area. Done and doner. But there's a gap here too. Just a second, I see something. Yep, a baby one, but that one opened up on Monday. But as you can see, if you keep track of the same stocks over and over again and are on it, there are obviously opportunities with the gaps within the week that open up to the downside or to the south side. And those are easier trades. And when I give you price points, those gaps are also giving you more, what's the word? Just a pull towards them and giving you better trade, I don't know what the word is, but just helping you to kind of get to that level that you see on the chart. All right. I don't know what that 2680 is. Oh, I think that was my sell from a long time ago. All right, because I've traded this one. I still do own Mara, and I will take Mara off the list for my gap and go trades. As you know, for the 13 tickers that I track, once the gap closes, I get rid of it and I find a new one for you. And sometimes I will revisit some old ones. And an old one, if you want to look at it yourself, is Altria Group. It closed out, I stopped tracking it, and then another opportunity opened up to the upside. But on Altria Group, we are going down. So we're going away from that gap to the upside, but something to be aware of to the upside. Pfizer, I'm in this trade for my mom, and we ended the week at 27.75, down 0.11%. The 1-year price target, 31.37, which represents a 13% return from where we are. So let me move this out of the way. All right. Use the key arrow to help me get the numbers here. At -2 standard deviations, that will take us to 27.79, 27.87, 28.02, 28.16, 28.23, and 28.31. RSI going down, has not curled back up yet, so I anticipate it to go down. -4 standard deviations is 27.72, and then you can use these crosshairs, grid lines here, 2760 possibly for the next leg down, or use your trend line here, 2770 is one, well, no, wait a minute. Nope, we have to go down one more. 2754 possibly. All right, the gap that I am tracking will take us to 2905, closing out at 3034. This has been a long time in the making. Look at that. And to the south side, we've got a gap that touches at 2682 roughly, not in the channel, not in the zone, something to be aware of. Right now, in an upward channel. Finally, so I'm in this trade again for my mom, and I'm not sure if I have it for myself. I think just her. This next one is Exelon. I've talked about this many times. We're grinding along the median, the middle of the trend, and the baseline, where price goes before it makes a decision between the buyers and the sellers to the north side or to the south side. All right, price targets. 37.83, a potential take profit area. 37.98, 38.14, 37.52, 37.21, 37.05, 36.89. Looking left, support, bounce up to resistance, and we can't quite get there all the way to this line, but we are trying. And this gap opened up last week. This one is still in play for this upcoming week to the downside, but fortunately, we are in an upward channel. This gap to the upside is what I am targeting. So if I'm playing this for my gaps, what I do is, since we are right here, you can get off the gravy train, set a limit, a sell limit at 37.89, or if you're daring and you want to let it ride that gravy train and hoping it will touch this point, 38.01. But if you go at or 1 or 2 pennies above, most likely you will get stopped out. You will hit the limit. And that's what I tend to do if I'm being chicken, conservative, whatever you want to say, and I'm just getting off that gravy train. But of course, you could get off, and then we can see consolidation basing going sideways for another leg up. That's where you have to do the fundamental analysis, look at the one-year price target, do some charting yourself. The next one, Intel. I'm in this one for my mom. I've got her in at different price points, and I'm finally up on the shares down here, but I think I bought some. Look at that. Those are all support and resistance lines. I don't know where. But overall, I am up for her on this one, fortunately. I try to be more conservative with her money, just helping her out. All right, your price targets, your gap and go targets here. To the middle of the trend, 44.42, roughly, okay? I'm not going to keep saying roughly, it just takes too long, but you know, if you've watched, that's what I mean. 45.50, 45.88 to the south side, 43.68, 43.33, 42.95. And a gap to the south side, but we are not in the channel, not in the zone. Something to be aware of, though, when we reverse course. Right now we are going up, and the next target is this one at 45.17, and then this doozy of a whopper up here at roughly 50.19, and that's probably when I will get out for my mom. And that, you know, we may never get there. We could tank and I have to start all over again, and you never know. This is why you need to set a stop limit, a sell limit there, and get out if you don't want to lose your money. The one-year price target, 45.97, only 4% there. But then if you click this, the next target is 68. I digress. I am dragging this video on, so I need to hurry again. All right, 54.81 we ended the day at for Schlumberger, down 0.16%. This is where we are. To the north side. $54.91, $55.30, $55.51, $55.71, $54.50, $54.30, $54.10. Note the bounce at support, sell-off at resistance, kind of close enough, and all the way up here. Never expect price to stay up here and then go up from there. There's always going to be people taking their profits, locking in and leaving. But the next target is right here, as I mentioned, 56. No, I didn't mention that. I mentioned it a long time ago when I've been doing these videos. 56.39. Baba. Oh, Baba, finally going up after weeks of whipping us around. 72.36. To the north side, 72.89, 73.22, 73.59, 72.20. This gap begins at 72.08, closes out at 71.61 if you like to go short, but we're tending to go up, but obviously we can go down here, continue to go down, which means we'll tickle this. I don't know if we'll close it out, but you never know. So -2, 71.53, 71.19, 70.85 roughly. And then this doozy here, 68.66, not in the channel, not in the zone. Oops. See, I've got my magnet turned on. It makes everything wonky. I can't do it. Oh, well, I'll mark it out later. And the nearest gap fill takes us to, see, we've already started to tickle this, to 73.77. Other gaps to look forward to up there. 78.43. Nike. I'm in this one for my mom. I'm in Baba for myself. 93.98. To the north side. 94.56. 94.96. Roughly. 95.34. 93.77. 92.97, 92.58, 92.18. We are in an upward channel, so hopefully this is not in our range, but of course things can turn on a dime. The gap I am tracking with Nike takes us to $100.78. Many trades in between. I'm just going to extend this and clean it up later. Ignore the horizontal lines. Apple, I'm in this one deep, deep. All right, 171.48, 171.92, 173.36, 174.0, did I see 07.08, 174.82, 170.52, 169.78, 169.08. See, we've got this gap and this one to look forward to 175.01, and then many other gaps for Apple as well. Boeing. Okay. I'm subjecting you to this because I really need your help, people. Get the word out for me, please. If I've helped you, I need you to help me. Okay, 192.89. Oh, 89, that's 99. Here, double click on that and then hit coordinates, change that out. That's how you reset your numbers here. All right. $194.52. 195.93, 197.24, 191.78, 189.05, 187.66, and roughly 186.31. I bought in for my mom at 186.50. All right, so we've got, what's going on here? Why does this look wonky? Oh, that's because I did not mark this line right there. So we are looking at this week, and this is the previous week. So now for your gap recaps, this gap opened up last week, so we will carry that into the following week. We are in an upward channel right now. This gap touched, fortunately, right about there at 187.88. No longer a threat to our account to the south side. Yeah, sorry. And then that one started, it started, yes, at 188.85, closed down, and so that's done as well. And look where this lined up. This is the gap that I was talking about, so let me fix that. So we gapped up, so now I will anticipate a gap down whenever we reverse course to the downside. We are now in an upward channel with Boeing. Fortunately, all the big wigs, they need to be fired at Boeing and start over with all these major problems that we have had with Boeing. I've been in Boeing for quite some time now. They need to move their headquarters back to Seattle, fire all the talking heads, the fat cats, start over with people who want to do a good job and aren't there just for the profits. Just like we need to start over with this board. We don't need, in my opinion, board members that have been on the board for more than 8 years. That just spells trouble for me. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. And as you can see, I've started to get on my rant. Okay, back to Boeing. So that's something we can look forward to, 198.51, and a couple other ones as well. Now, because I'm getting rid of Mara, since we closed out, that was a super easy fill, I am putting in for this week TSLY. So let me give you the targets for TSLY. And, all right, to the north side. Oh, first I want to say, hit text. Hi, Marat. He mentioned to me, I forgot to write this in, that he watched an interview with Dan Ives. And Dan said that he expects TSLY to eventually get into the $300 range. I am thrilled. I watched Dan Ives. He also does Apple, which, I track. And thank you to Marat for letting me know that. I never got a chance to go look at the video yet since I've been so busy. But that's a lot of upside potential. Obviously, many trades to get there. You're going to get whipped around. You're going to think, I need to get out. And then all of a sudden, the stock's going to run. And then it's going to run without you. And then you panic, you get in, and then it sells off again. And my goodness, the cycle happens all over again. So long-term potential, $300. I love it. All right, to the north side. Wait, did I already do that? I got sidetracked. Here we go again. 179.28. If I did, 185.53, 188.65, 191.82, 173.02, 169.89, 167.45, 163.80. This takes us down to 145.38. All right, looking left, way left, all right? So this is the upcoming week, but if you look left, I've tracked this just for myself since I'm in this trade. This gap that I was tracking to the upside at 177.35, closed right there on the 21st. So that was a potential to ride it up from where we were. Boom, done. And this gap here, you can see that closed out. You don't have to, obviously, mark out these gaps, because if you're trading within the lines, it's going to fill one way or the other, up or down. But this helps you decide what direction are we going. Does it make your trade a stronger trade? Seeing those things, those points that we could get to. So this gapped up, we gapped down, so I anticipate a gap up. So I will change the color. For myself, you do whatever you need to get it organized. So this is to the south side. I'll mark all of these. Okay. That's just so that when I look at this at a quick glance, I know kind of some targets I'm going for. And this is the gap that I am going to be tracking now, and that's a gap that starts at 183.62. And note, this will be, if we continue this upward movement, we are going to hit this probably on Monday, starting to tickle it. I don't know if it'll close out, but fingers crossed that we do. And then we hit these other ones. Oops, I just Control Z to bring it back. Look at all these gaps. My goodness, we tanked with this stock, and it's been nasty. But finally, I'm just going to show you. Look at this. Look at all my price points that I've looked at. See how you're at 175 here, and we are almost at support, but we're starting to go up. Now, the range to the upside, because you're going to get different buy and sell signals on the different time frames, 228.67, and to the south side, I'm going to say 158.14. Look at that. Oh, I looked at this in July of 2023. The expected high was 350. You know, other price targets here. My goodness, what a beating we've taken. Hopefully better days are ahead. Let me oops. All right, there. All right, that is a look at my gap and go trades for the week of the 31st through April 5th. And that is also a gap recap from the 25th through the 29th. If there is a stock that you want me to go over this upcoming week, please let me know. I will also work on a video, a pot video, and check out all the pot stocks. I own quite a few of them, and they've started to run. While everyone was fixated on semiconductors, the pot stocks have been quietly creeping up. So I will check that out for you. Thank you so much for watching, and please spread the word about dumping Donna Turberg. Thank goodness her husband stepped down before a recall happened. Husbands and wives should never be on the board together. That's just basic information, and especially if we've never needed them for a quorum. That's just wrong and disgusting to me, and I believe that we should be getting bids for everything to save our HOA money. If it's your own money, that's one thing. I don't get bids when I hire my handyman to do things for me because I can afford it and I trust him. But if it comes to public funds, public fund dollars, and someone else's money, you better be getting bids on everything. And that's just my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to it.